abundance mindset is to put yourself into the 3 Fs, which is a lot of people who have grown in difficult environments or difficult homes or have been told that money is scarce. When you kind of grow up with these beliefs, your mind is constantly in what we call survival mode. There's a big difference in being poor and having a poverty mindset. And what I mean by poverty mindset is the idea that
we always consider abundance in form of wealth, materialistic things. But I would like to know your definition of what abundance is.
abundance is actually the ability to
You felt about abundance, but to arrive to that thing, any action plan or there's any steps involved in it to reach there?
first you have to, when we attach a why to our goals, we find it more motivating to fulfill. You can change your mindset to enjoy doing things that earlier you thought you might not enjoy doing at all. And that happens by...
What is dark night of the soul?
This is a very important question because
Hi everyone, welcome back to Stories That Matter. I'm your host Aysha and I'm so grateful that you have joined me today. I want to start by saying you might be thinking or you might be feeling I need more, I crave more, I want more, but nothing is working in your life at the moment. Today's episode is all about exploring the codes of abundance with none other than Vansa Bali, who is a 6 times award-winning holistic therapist and transformational life coach. She's with us today to explore the codes of abundance. She has worked with many people to transform their life inside out with the amalgamation of the best healing practices like theta healing, sound healing, Reiki, and life coaching. She's here not just to motivate you guys, she's here to activate something deep within you all. So get ready to shift the perspective of what is abundance and be ready to be the best successful version of yourself, which you're gonna unlock today on this episode of Stories That Matter. So without any wait, I would like to welcome Vansa Bali to Stories That Matter. Hi Vansa, welcome to Stories That Matter. It's so grateful to have you today on my show.
thank you, Aisha. Thank you for having me. I'm most excited to be here.
Let's start with something very simple, abundance. I would like to know your definition of what abundance is.
Abundance is actually the ability to express your values in the most beautiful ways that bring out joy, that bring out freedom, that bring out flow in your life. That's what abundance really is. It's about having the ability to be free to express yourself in the way that you want to. And we spend most of our life trying to work through goals just to get to a state where we have the freedom, time, energy, money, resources to our disposal to do what we really want to do with our lives, right? So to me, as you're asking, abundance is that ability to put yourself together in a way that you have the time, energy, and resources to live the life you truly want to.
What a beautiful definition.
Yeah.
It's something off the shelf, like we always consider abundance in form of wealth, materialistic things. But
Yeah.
you giving a twist to the definition of abundance is mind-blowing.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, wealth and money are often the most immediate thoughts we have about abundance.
Yeah.
That's also the most immediate goal we have in our life that we want to meet or we want to reach. But if you ask yourself, why is it important to me? Or if you ask yourself, why is abundance important to me? And you take a step deeper to think about this topic, you'll realize that the goal for having that money or that time or those resources is so that you have the freedom to be who you want to be, express yourself in the most beautiful ways, and to live a life that is more authentic to who you are. And that's ultimately the goal we as humans want to arrive at, the ability to actualize ourselves. And abundance is nothing but arriving at that point where you give yourself permission to do more of that in your life. So when I do have that money, or when I do have time to myself, or when I do have resources at my disposal, what am I doing with myself?
Yeah.
I'm going and meeting my friends. That feels abundant. I'm going and reading that book I really wanted to. That feels
Wow.
abundant. Why does it feel abundant? Because in that moment, the energy is flow, freedom, fulfillment. It's the three F's, as we call it.
Okay.
So that's where you're flowing, you're feeling the energy of the universe, you're feeling yourself, you're in connection with who you are. And that moment, therefore, feels abundant. And once we get a whiff of this moment, we want to feel it more and more. So we
Yeah.
create more such moments in our life. We plan our life and life goals in a way that we can
Yeah.
have more of this in our life and express ourselves with it.
Totally agree with you. As everyone says, universe energy is constantly flowing, and you need to go and flow with that same energy out. And you expressing abundance in that form, which is like expressing yourself in a free flowing way, the way you want. But one question which I feel, I'm sure people where they feel stuck is how to reach to that level. Yes, you said that expressing or doing things which you love doing, and to reach to that place, people would need that guidance. Everyone wants and everyone is craving for that sort of place or the space to achieve in their life where things are naturally flowing to you. But what obstruct us is that how to go there, how to reach there, and what is the path? What are the elements involved to reach there? I'm curious to know about that. What exactly is abundance mindset?
So, an abundance mindset is really to put yourself into the three F's, which is freedom, fulfillment, and flow, and realize at some point that maybe these are very important intrinsic values of yours that you want to live your life by. It's where you want to live with certain values that help you feel blissful, help you feel happy to be alive, and that's the energy you want to give out as well. So, what helps you come alive? That's what an abundance mindset is all about. And there are people who actually prioritize this in their life, where they really want to live every moment of life feeling fulfilled, feeling free, and just knowing that, this life is their own making. So, what do they want to do with it? So, an abundance mindset is, of course, individual to each person, but it's nothing but being in the energy of co creation and flow all the time. To know that you can change, you can maneuver, you can grow, you can create better situations in your life at any point in time. And identifying what those are, what feels abundant to you, what is abundance to you, and giving yourself permission to have it in your life.
Working towards it.
Yes. So, for example, you'll notice that, if a lot of people who have grown in difficult environments or difficult homes, or have been told, that there's not enough around, for everyone to have, that money is scarce, money is growing on trees.
Yeah.
When you kind of grow up with these beliefs, your mind is constantly in what we call survival mode. There's a part of your brain that's just wired to constantly think this way and worry all the time about it. And so we make our life about worrying, therefore.
Yeah.
And then you realize that worrying is not helping because it's not taking me where I want to be. Not everyone has the ability to think this way, but when you do, you're able to actually look at your own self and ask yourself, well, now what do I want to do? What do I want to create differently? And that's you stepping into the abundance zone. Or the abundance mindset, where you're taking stock of your life, you're consciously assessing aspects of your life and asking yourself, what do I want to do differently? And then you start choosing differently, whether it is comfortable or uncomfortable at some times. You still want to do it because it adds value to your life. There's one element of the path that you're planning, and there's another element that's unfolding as it is, right?
Okay.
So that path that we're planning is really our ability to put our goals into motion, is to first sit and identify what are my goals. Now, the interesting thing with abundance is that when we attach a why to our goals, we find it more motivating to fulfill.
Yeah.
So when we just say, I need money, that does not motivate us half as much as when we say, I want money so that I can do such and such thing in my life, right? I can read that book I want, or I can pay for my child's school fees, and that helps me, fulfill my role as a parent. And suddenly you're feeling so much better, partaking in the activity of making money. So the first step of abundance is to first identify your long-term goals, which is to get into that flowing energy, from the moment itself, So when you're in that moment of freedom, in that moment of flow, and you have to create it, it's almost like you're tricking your mind into creating it in that moment for a few seconds or for a few minutes to really feel like, when I am abundant, what am I doing? What do I really want to do? And those become your long-term goals that you want to achieve, because they will come through to you in that moment where you are relaxed, right? And those could be me having the freedom to meet friends, me having a beautiful home, or me having where I feel relaxed, where I feel spacious, where I feel loved, where there's harmony. You're in that moment. You need to create that energy first where you want abundance to flow, and you want to become clear about what that abundance is for you. And you can keep doing these activities to refine your perspective of it, right? Once you have that long-term goal in mind, now you look at the reality you have at this moment and ask yourself, okay, what is that next step I can take so that I ultimately get to this goal that I want to have? Because when you have a goal ahead, now you understand why you're working towards it and what is making you work towards it.
True.
So that's where abundance becomes a very individual focused activity. It's not something that, has to matter to everybody on the same level, but it's really something that's important to you. So you're taking the time to define what is abundance for me in the long run, and what are the steps that I want to take to achieve it.
So that meant that abundance is quite subjective to an individual.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's like you figure out what abundance means to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's interesting, because I think abundance is a need for everyone. It's an intrinsic need for everybody. And if you look at the parameters of what do we want to be abundant in, even those abstract concepts are actually very similar for all of us. So, largely speaking, we all want abundant relationships. We all want to feel a part of the community. We all want to develop ourselves spiritually, or to develop a sense of meaning for life and what that means for us. We all want to have resources. We all want an intimate relationship, or intimate relationships that bring up our little inner child, let us be who we are, let us be playful. So now we're really talking about all the forms of abundance, and there are many, and these are all the forms that apply to all of us.
Yeah,
right?
These are the basic,
These are the basic needs that we all want and we all want to accomplish.
True.
And this is what makes us feel abundant. So it's not just money, but it's what money can do for you. It's not just time, but what you want to do with that time. It's not just friendship, but what do you want to do with that friendship? How do you want to feel in that friendship? Right? And so these are all the core needs everyone has. But how you want to express it is based on every individual and how they want to go about it. Do you want to have children, or do you not want to have children? What feels abundant to you? And that is where individuation is happening of an individual, where you are learning and you're realizing that while I belong to society and I belong to this community, I'm also a human being who has their own intrinsic needs. And when I interestingly meet my intrinsic needs, I'm able to be a better part of society as well. So when I start addressing my abundant codes and what those are for me, what makes me feel abundance, I automatically become a wonderful contributing member of society as well.
Wow.
And that's another form of abundance. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
I have always, thought about this concept in a way that unless and until you don't feel anything inside, or you don't fill your own cup, it will not flow out, right? That's
Absolutely.
what they say. So unless and until you don't understand what abundance means to you, and you don't embody that feeling within you and try to take relevant actions to take you to that state, unless and until you don't fill that, definition of abundance to yourself and you clarify, you won't be able to feel it, or you won't be able to even give out to the community, to a larger section of society. The core where I see is like first filling your own definition of abundance.
Yes.
Being so clear about what abundance means to you is that, like, I feel like that's the first step to even taking action, right?
Yeah, it's the first step of feeling abundant, actually.
Yeah.
of starting on the journey of abundance by being
Yeah.
abundance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You have to be abundance to have it. So
Yeah.
so the key is to take time out, in your life and to sit with it and start feeling it, because whether we realize it or not, we're constantly tricking our minds into creating a better reality all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Some of us do it more consciously, some of us do it unconsciously, some of us do it through negative triggers, of pain, suffering,
Yeah.
process of elimination of what we don't want to have,
Yeah.
to give us clarity about what we want to have. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you learn that you can do these things more consciously as well. So you can take time out in a day to sit and just feel abundant and feel that energy, even if it's just 5 minutes, even if it's just 10 minutes, just give yourself permission to feel it, so that you know that this is something that is in your reach. And this is something that you can assess for yourself, evaluate for yourself, and understand what it means for you. Because that in itself gives a lot of acceptance, a lot of confidence in the individual to know that I have a place in this
Yeah.
life, and I know
Yeah.
what my place is, and I know what I want to do,
Yeah.
what I don't want to do, what matters to me. And that brings you into feeling and embracing life a lot more,
Yeah.
and the people around you as well.
So the first step is having a clarity what we want in life and feeling it from inside.
Taking the time out for it,
Yeah.
prioritizing it. So when I often tell my clients, if you want to get a new habit in, add it to your Google Calendar.
Okay.
Yes, till you don't add it to your calendar, your mind will not see it as a priority to do. It will dismiss it as something that's not important. So you might plan that walk, you might plan that dinner, but if you don't write it down, if you don't etch it down in some way that you have to remind yourself, it doesn't feel like a priority, and hence you
Yeah.
won't do it. So you have to make it a priority in your life, and that happens by adding it to your calendar as an important moment of your life, just like everything else. So
Interesting.
I'm going to work, I'm coming back, and then I'm going to sit with my abundance list. I'm going to take these 10 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, to sit and nurture my mind and understand what do I really want from life,
Yeah.
and structure that.
It's really fascinating to understand abundance from that depth. The first step is just being so clear in your mind to what abundance means to you,
Yeah.
and taking the necessary steps, sitting with yourself and understanding what makes you feel that, and working towards those mini tiny steps towards it. That's really fascinating.
Yeah, and I think the other important aspect to know about abundances is that it's not only about money, wealth, or resources. It's about the energy you're giving out ultimately. So when our cup is full, like you said,
Yeah.
what do we want to do? The energy flows out, right?
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah.
that's the way we're made as adults. Our energy is made to flow out and contribute to the world around us.
Yeah.
So the whole point of talking about abundance is that when you start feeling abundant and truly abundant in mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, socially, and in all the ways that there is, you want to give back, you want to contribute, you want to express yourself in ways that add value to society.
Yeah.
And that is another dimension of abundance nobody talks about. That when you're abundant, what do you do? Right?
When you have so much within you.
Yes.
When you're feeling that sort of abundance within you, what to do next?
The
right?
next is to address the other form of abundance,
Okay.
which is what we get from contributing to our community. Community outreach is a form of abundance.
Oh wow.
You know.
Beautiful.
And so our energy flows out to contribute to the
Yeah.
community,
True.
which meets our other need of abundance as well, which is to feel a part of the greater whole.
To be part of a larger goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to pour that harmony out of you, which you're feeling inside you.
And what does abundance means to you?
Yeah, it
I know
keeps-
it's subjective,
Yeah.
but just from how do you feel about abundance? Like at this point of time in your life or right now, how do you feel like?
I was just going to say right now, this feels like abundance. Having the
Okay.
time to talk about these things and to be able to share this with people that empowers them feels really abundant to me.
Wow.
Because in the
Beautiful.
scope of things where, where everyone is working towards making their ends meet, we have all these goals in our life that we want to
Yeah.
work towards.
Yeah.
Ultimately, those goals are there for us to arrive here, where we can talk about what we're passionate about
Yeah.
and be able to share that and be able to discuss it with like-minded people. This feels really abundant to me. To have the time and energy to do this purpose,
Yeah.
to me, has always been a form of abundance.
Beautifully captured.
Yeah. So when you said that, I was like, this is the first thought, first feeling coming to me, that this
Yeah.
moment is actually feeling very abundant.
I love that you felt about abundance. You are flowing out and you're serving the community. But to arrive to that thing, what any action plan or there's any elements or there's steps involved in it to reach there?
Yes. Absolutely. I think, like I said, first you have to write down what are your long-term goals,
Okay.
what they would call your dream goals, your manifestation goals. But what is it that you really value, that you really, really want to do? So if money is not a problem, if abundance is not a problem, it's with you. What do you want to create? So go into that co-creation mode where you can just sit with yourself and understand, what do I really want to create in my life? You can write it down, you can picturize it, you can illustrate it, you can make it beautiful like they do in vision boards.
Yeah.
Vision boards are a great idea because it brings into representation what is in your mind. And, a lot of studies also show that what you are writing or what you are illustrating has a better way of entering your subconscious, entering your field of energy, where you're actually going to draw upon inspiration and do something about it. So therefore, putting it on paper in some form is a
Okay.
good first step.
Uh-huh.
And then sitting and being honest with where you are is the second step.
Okay.
So where am I right now? And that is not easy sometimes, because in the current state,
Yeah.
I could be either happy or I could be fearful. I could be holding on to regret of what I haven't achieved so far. I could be comparing myself to others and feeling like I'm not doing enough, right? I could have envy for what
Yeah.
other people have achieved that I haven't achieved yet, right? So these are very natural thoughts and feelings that come. And the
Yeah.
reason I say they're natural is because you don't have to judge them or put yourself down for having them in the first place. But what you want to do is that when you're sitting in the moment, allow them to come into your conscious awareness and go like, even though I have these thoughts, I'm choosing to park them aside. Or I want to journal them out, or I want to heal them, so that I'm able to be more present and happy to take the next step forward. And then write down what is the most immediate next step forward that I need to take for this goal to happen. So what is my 1 week plan, or my 1 month plan, my yearly plan, or then a 10-year plan? And just write it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just have it written in some form, so you know that your mind, you have some direction to work towards. And you can always course correct this,
True.
as regularly as you want. But the idea is to just get into the habit of putting it down on paper, so that you are giving yourself permission to take direction and take the reins of your life in your hands.
Yeah.
And then the most immediate step is, what is the next step I can take?
Yeah.
What can I do next? Who should
Yeah.
I call? What should I set up? What can I do next to work towards that goal? And focus on the most immediate steps, because that is what will give you the confidence to move forward.
Yeah. I want to add on to that thought.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we keep on taking baby steps. We keep on trying harder. We keep on moving forward. We are trying our level best.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the end, we feel stuck. We feel like, it's not moving, it's not happening. And that's the point. We need to have that strength and courage to say, no, we will move forward. People don't realize that is a progress. You should have that sort of a mentality or a mindset to even look back how far you have come to from where you started.
Yeah.
So even those baby steps which you have taken, let's say in the stretch of 1 month, and if you look back, you have made X number of progress. It's always good to, look back and see how much progress we have made, instead of, when we reach at that stage where we are stuck and we feel like nothing is moving forward and there's no money coming in, there's no clarity, there's
Yeah.
no, response from your clients, or there's no sales happening, there's business is not progressing.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure like people at that stage where they feel stuck, it's important that they look at their path back. They
Yeah.
look at the journey they have come so far, not to get stuck, but to still look at the obstacle and just move forward with that growth mindset.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
love the word growth mindset, because this goes back to touching upon the points that I was talking about earlier, that there are so many forms of abundance. So who's to say you're not progressing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Who's to say work is the only form of progress?
Yeah.
When you are counting your blessings, count
Yeah.
the friends that you've got,
Yeah.
count the abundant nature that you're surrounded by.
Yeah.
Count all the blessings that matter to you, which make
Yeah.
life worth living.
Yeah.
Because then you'll realize you really are abundant.
I love
And this is
this.
one
Yeah.
aspect of life that is growing, that will take its time, that needs to grow.
Yeah.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that you're not abundant.
Yeah. I love this.
Because not everyone has it, and not everyone is co-creating it.
Yeah.
Not everyone lives in loving families. Not everyone lives in peaceful environments. These are all aspects that you have manifested in your life. So be grateful for it.
Yeah, we never think that way, that even
Yeah.
these tiny little things are we ourselves have manifested. And if we are experiencing them, that means we have manifested. For us,
Absolutely.
manifestation is always looking into something, X amount, X
Yes.
goals.
Yeah.
But taking abundance from this perspective, or feeling abundant about all these things that you are manifesting, all these tiny little things, is also a form of abundance, and you are progressing forward in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because you are progressing exactly in the way that you want to.
Yeah.
What gives you meaning, what gives you value at the end
Yeah.
of the day. So when you connect and check in with yourself, you're connecting with that part of you that is abundant and co-creating all the time.
So we are co-creators
All the time.
of our own
And we're
life.
learning how to be better co-creators every day.
Sit down, journal it, look at what action plan you need to take.
Yeah.
So after that, what is the next step?
Next step is be inspired
Be inspired.
towards your goals.
Okay.
Look around you, look at the people who you are around. And I'm talking more about the people you surround yourself with to start with. Who do you look up to? Who has achieved these goals in your life? Start by acknowledging the brilliance around you. That is already actively manifesting what you want. And start walking towards those people and speaking to them. Start bringing in that energy into your life. Taking the best from their examples. So sitting with them and learning, if it's about money, how do you do it? If it's about relationships, how are you going about it? If it's about finding a lovely home, how did you manage to do it? Where did you go? Who did you speak to?
Yeah.
Our social environment either motivates us to grow or it demotivates us to grow.
True.
It either helps us feel like we're going in the right direction, or it feels like we're not heading anywhere at all.
Yeah.
That's how important your own time is and who you're devoting your time to. So for the sake and for the purpose of you feeling more abundant, you need to take stock of where your time is going. And you need to sit with your calendar. You need to look at the people around you and ask yourself, who do I want to prioritize to meet? That's one more thing to add to your calendar. Build a circle of trust, a strong inner circle for your personal life and an inner circle for your professional life.
Okay.
Where you have trusted friends, confidants, who love you for who you are on a personal level. And you have mentors and guides who are aiding you towards the goals that you want to arrive at as well.
Okay.
And that's your professional life. And this is something you have to work towards. And for this, you have to also show up as a wonderful mentor or a guide, as a friend. So this is also where you are becoming ready to show up with your gifts and talents, whatever they might be. And so it becomes a symbiotic relationship that you have where you're growing with other people and other people are growing with you.
Yeah.
And that's how you grow towards it. Yes, that's how you grow together.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
So if you notice, most people in business, they have their circle of, friends in business who they are getting help from or advice from. If you're meeting healers, you'll notice that healers have their own circle of trusted healers they're going to for help or supervision, to get clarity from, or to just vent, or to get guidance from. We all need each other. But the question is, what do we do with those relationships? Are they actively helping us grow in life, or are they making us feel stuck?
Yeah.
And that's where you have to take stock of the energy you're allowing into your life and become more conscious of what energy you want to have. That's going to actually propel you forward.
Yeah, I really want to emphasize on this fact you have mentioned. It's very important to understand how our energy is being used,
Yeah.
whether it's been drained or it's been energized, and surround yourself with the people where, it's more of an energy audit, I'll say, where you analyze yourself whether being with that person is actually draining your energy or it's energizing you.
Yes. And another important aspect to this is also the ability to course correct. Can you course correct with this person?
What's
So
that?
say course correction is that if something is amiss, something is not feeling right, can we talk about it?
Oh, okay.
And can we bring it into our conversation and do something about it? So a lot of good friendships and relationships, even at work, are dictated by our communication styles. How well are we communicating? How well are we being understood? Is there scope to grow with this person? What does that mean? That means that if, say, something is not working out, can we talk about it? Can we set boundaries together? Can we talk about each other's shadow selves together? Can we grow together?
Yeah.
So for that, having a friend or having a mentor, anyone who's able to take accountability is so important,
Yeah.
right?
True.
And for yourself as well, do I have the qualities of being able to grow? So am I taking accountability for myself? Am I able to hear criticism and take it productively and do something about it? Because that is what nurtures the relationship, where you create a safe space where you're feeling ready to grow, both personally and professionally, where you both can work together now, whether as a husband and wife team or, boyfriend, girlfriend, or friendships, where you're actually seeing that, we can come out of this and grow together and be better people together. And that becomes a very good foundation for abundance to come through. Because now
Really?
you know both, now you realize that you're a channel for growth to happen, and you've got a mate, or you've got a friend, or you've got a mentor who wants that too.
Talking about your own relationship and how you're feeling, if there's something needs to be addressed, you go ahead and address. And once you have that kind of clarity within the relationship, there's a space for both of them to grow and nurture.
So the first step is to look at your own self, look at your own shadows through introspection. What do I like about myself? What do I dislike that I want to change? Or what needs to change for me to grow? And to be able to ask yourself those honest questions for the idea that ultimately we're all here to grow. And nobody's perfect, right? But I want to do it more consciously, more intentionally. Because I want to arrive at my goals. And then finding people around you who want that too. And you grow towards it, your goals together.
That's also, growing together is also a form of abundance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Adler's psychology focuses a lot on the idea that ultimately we all are a product of relationships, and much of our purpose, much of our goals, much of our problems, everything stems from relationships ultimately. So we're all here to, contribute to the relationships, which is contributing to society, and at the same time managing our expectations and being ourselves in it as well. So there's a part of us that's marrying the environment around us to help us grow, and at the same time we're also here to empower the environment around us with the energy that we get.
So is that leads to our purpose? Shall I say that?
Yeah, and our purpose is also relationship driven, isn't it? It's what we are contributing to others, because we know that contributing to others is contributing to ourselves. So what we're doing here is we're creating win-win situations, and that's a great way to grow. As much as you can, try and create win-win situations in life where you're not the only one winning, but so is the other person.
Oh, wow.
And that's a great way to foster relationships as well, and keep relationships in your life. Is to know that I can grow and so can the other person. And so when we both are winning, there's enough abundance for all of us to have that space and utilize it. So it also puts you into that abundance mindset, to know that there's enough for everyone, and that we can all grow and be happy. And a lot of our happiness also lies in seeing other people happy.
So, which are the main common limiting beliefs which are blocking abundance in people's life? You just touch base upon few of them that, thinking money grows on trees and all that. But which are the common limiting beliefs which actually block abundance in anyone's life? I want to understand from your side how these, limiting conscious beliefs actually blocks abundance.
There are so many, but I would just start by asking people listening in to just take stock of their childhood, of their environment that they grew up in, and look at the people, look at your family around you who you lived with. And as you're looking at them, ask yourself, what were some of their thoughts about money and abundance? What are the imprints? What have I imprinted on and taken from them? What beliefs are serving me? What beliefs are not serving me? So coming to some of those beliefs, a lot of us have, of course, grown up on the belief that money does not grow on trees. So money is scarce. There's just not enough money in the world. Even how we identify with money. What is money? Money is gold. Now money is crypto. What is money?
What is money?
Where is it coming from? I don't know. So the sense of helplessness of that money is not in my hands. It's not in my hands to make money or to be abundant, right? Another very common belief is that you have to be rich to have money. You have to be abundant to have money. That you can't have it, being where, not having it in your environment right now. You need to be elite, or you need to have it all in order to have it in your life. There's also a lot of belief around money being evil, right? Because if you see people suffering around you at times, you'll wonder, or if you've seen or heard powerful people take advantage of others, you might carry the subconscious belief that money is evil. So it's not even something I should touch. It's not good to have.
Okay. People do develop that sort of belief.
It's a very common belief that money is the root of all evil.
Okay.
Right? So all these people who are dictating the world, look at how they're using money. Money is bad. Money is not a good thing to have. So this is based on the group conscious energy that you're picking up on by listening to the news, by reading articles, by seeing how people are using their cash flow, their resources, and you're picking up on these beliefs. That's giving you a negative sense of money. So if you're getting a negative sense of money, why will you feel motivated to make it? Right? So these are some of the ways, that some of the blocks that come in the way of having money. And therefore, the most important thing is to ask yourself, how am I feeling about money? Am I feeling good? Am I feeling happy? Is the energy light, or am I feeling heavy? Is the energy dense? Am I feeling thick? Am I feeling low?
After receiving or before receiving money?
How do I feel about money? Just how I'm receiving it, and how am I feeling about it? So when you're spending money, how are you feeling about it? When you're receiving money, how are you feeling about it? When you just have money, how are you feeling about it? Sometimes we feel like we have to spend it just because we have it. Or sometimes we feel like we can only save it, right?
Yeah.
Either ways, what is the underlying feeling? The underlying feeling is a sense of worry.
That needs to be addressed.
Yes. Why am I worrying about it? What am I worrying about? That it's not going to come to me again, that I'm going to be fired, or I'm going to be let go of, that I don't have enough resources. Ask yourself those deeper questions so you can arrive at a state where you feel comfortable with money and the flow of money coming in and out of your life, So another problem that happens, and these aren't just limiting beliefs, but just the nature of the way that we work with money in our life can also be a block for us. So when you are spending, are you spending happily? Are you overspending? Are you underspending? Are you frugal? Are you putting money in the right places? Are you paying your bills? Right? What you're utilizing money for, are you enjoying that? That is also going to help you build an either positive perspective towards money or a fearful perspective towards money. So the idea is to move more towards a positive flow, which to a large extent is psychological first, right? Which is why they say, get your mind in order, because then you can get your reality in order as well.
I read somewhere, when you are even paying your bills, just bless that invoice, just bless that bill, that, feel blessed that you are able to pay that bill.
Absolutely.
God has, put you in a position where you actually can pay your family bills, you can pay
Yes.
your own bills. And yeah, it's very rightly said, it's all about, how you feel about it when you are using money or when you're receiving money.
In fact, to add to your point, one of the main reasons why they say, bless the money that you're spending is also to develop the confidence in you that you can make it again,
Oh yeah.
that you're capable of doing it.
Yeah.
So these are all the ways you are telling and reprogramming your mind to think in the way that you want to think about yourself and about your life. And that
Yeah.
is really truly stepping into the abundance mindset.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, is to be able to think and bring your thoughts to work in the way that you want them to work. That is one of the first steps of developing an abundance mindset.
Creating your own reality
Yes.
through that sort of abundance mindset.
Yeah.
And having that conscious awareness of how we feeling about money when the money comes and or when the money goes. You have touched base on a very beautiful thought.
And this comes back to the idea of abundance, which is freedom, flow, fulfillment. So what are we doing here? We're creating moments where we come back into that energy of freedom, flow, and fulfillment. I'm feeling fulfilled paying this bill.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the freedom that I can.
Yeah.
And I am enjoying it.
I really love the 3 F's: freedom, flow,
And fulfillment.
And fulfillment. So I think that any aspect of life where we feel stuck, I think we should always come back and look at these 3 aspects.
Come back to that energy. And that is why whatever healing technique you learn, you'll notice it's ultimately bringing healing, or the perspective changing is happening in the most relaxed states of mind, where you are in that energy of freedom, fulfillment, and flow.
Yeah.
So the more relaxed you are, the more you can transform. The more relaxed and easygoing you are with yourself, the more you're open to change. So whenever you're feeling stressed, make it a point to de-stress.
Yeah.
Add that to your calendar.
Okay. Yeah.
And these are the small ways you are feeling and becoming abundant, which become the bigger manifestations ultimately. Give yourself permission to relax and be in the flow, because that is where ideas happen, that is where creativity happens. It's that state of mind which allows for subjective thinking to happen.
Wow.
Right? So what are these relaxed states? These brainwave states are usually your alpha, theta, and even delta brainwave states, where you're just really relaxed. The more you relax, the more your subconscious, your unconscious speaks to you. The more creativity comes through, the more ideas you get, the happier you feel.
Yeah.
The more conscious you become of yourself, of your thoughts, of your body, of your movements, of how you're feeling. So the more you are in this zone, in this brainwave state, the more you're able to co-create. And the faster, therefore, you're able to change and maneuver your thoughts to what you want them to become. So taking time out just to relax yourself is another great way to bring yourself into the abundance mindset.
Oh, wow.
So instead of being in stress mode, work mode, fear mode all the time, which a lot of our societies actually deem as praiseworthy, they applaud us for, being workaholics or overdoing it, or, stressing ourselves out or not having energy. And we consider it a great virtue. What it actually holds back for us in doing is to actually take a step back and become conscious creators again.
I really love that phrase of yours, to be a conscious creators.
Yeah. We're all working towards it.
Yeah.
That's why I come back to the idea that we're all learning from our environment as well. So while you are learning, while you are consciously creating, it's also important to be around the energy that you feel inspired by.
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference in the way that you're thinking. Just by changing the environment, changing the social settings you find yourself in, you can entirely change the way you're looking at yourself and your life. It's that the impact is that big. There are so many forms of abundance, right? There's emotional abundance, mental abundance, physical abundance. What are those? Emotional is feeling better. Mentally is being able to think beautiful thoughts, being able to direct your thoughts in the way that you want it to be. Physical abundance is being healthy. right? These are the forms of abundance that exist. So just knowing that these are actually codes of abundance will get people to look at abundance differently and maybe feel abundant today, that, hey, I'm really healthy, I'm feeling good. Or maybe this is what needs course correction right now. Because when you have these things in place is when you're able to understand the other aspects of abundance, which is, okay, who am I surrounding myself with? Are they adding to my mental abundance, to my emotional abundance, to my physical abundance, or no?
Yeah.
So now you're looking at, your social outreach, you're looking at your family, you're looking at your friends, you're looking at your environment around you, you're looking at the home you're living in. And then comes the community outreach.
Yeah.
And then comes your spiritual abundance as well. So, if you look at them in form of a diagram, they're like, it starts with you.
Okay.
And then it goes into your circle of trust, your inner circle, which is your friends and family. And then it goes into the outer circles, which are, the people you're meeting, but not so frequently, but they're there in your life, your work colleagues, and then the community outreach, and then the creator in that way.
And after that, it's more of a spiritual.
And then the spiritual awakening as well. That is a very important form of abundance.
Spiritual awakening, you're categorizing as form of abundance?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. When I say spiritual awakening, I'm also talking about what that awakens within you, which is a sense of joyfulness, blissfulness, a state of oneness, which happens when you develop a more balanced ego, or when your sense of self is not just about you, but about the larger whole. That sense of awakening brings a great set of feelings within us that make us feel abundant. So hence I call, spirituality or the self-actualization of it a form of abundance, because it is. And when you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, it is one of the main core needs that we want to arrive to once we have our basic needs met.
The fifth one is self-actualization.
Yeah, the last one is self-actualization.
Yeah, the last one.
Absolutely.
Which means to be the best version of yourself, so that we are able to give out of that version and be contributing to a larger section of community and the people around.
Absolutely, which ranges from just being blissful and sharing that bliss with others to having gifts and talents or knowledge or wisdom that you want to impart to the larger whole that helps them grow too. Because feeling apart and one with others is a very important core need of ours. And so when we meet this need, it helps us meet one of our abundance codes. If we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Maslow was a psychologist who identified what are the core needs that we all have, starting with survival, which is your root chakra as well, having your basic needs met. Then the more emotional needs, which are, developing relationships, bonds with family, with children, with loved ones. And then having your heart needs met, which is, what do I want to have? I want to go shopping. I want to do, have all these desires met and know that I can. And then the more heart-based ones, where I want to contribute to people's lives, or I want to love and I want to care. And then comes your expression. What do I want to express, right? Who am I? And how do I want to express that? And that leads you to self-actualization. That what am I embodying within myself, and how is that expressing out into the world? And so these are all the abundance codes that we all want to meet. And so when we start meeting any of them, we start feeling amazing about our life, because it's a very core facet of who we are as human beings.
The people who are actually the bottom of the hierarchy, how do they empower themselves?
So going back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? When we talk about that highest state that we want to be in, which is self-actualization, and this goes back to having the abundance mindset as well. What does that mean? That state is, or that awareness comes from the idea that we are one with everyone, right? So when you do have your needs met, there's an intrinsic part of you that wants to contribute.
Yeah.
That is what self-actualization looks like. You actualize yourself for the purpose of actualizing others. So one aspect of helping is, of course, community outreach, that when your needs are met and you have understood that psychologically your needs have been met. So I don't have to worry about money, or I don't have to worry about resources, and I'm really in a good space to help. You can reach out to those people who don't have their basic needs met, or who are struggling in any aspect or any capacity. So that is community outreach, which we are not doing enough of, which we need to do more of. And of course, the second is, there's a big difference in also being poor and having a poverty mindset. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? Should I change my mindset to grow? Is someone going to help me to do it? And the answer is, you need both. You need community outreach, right? But if in case that doesn't come, which sometimes it doesn't in certain societies, then I have to take that step forward. So what action can I take differently? And what I mean by poverty mindset is the idea that where you believe that there is no way out, or that you are meant to be helpless, or that is the only way. You're stuck in that loop. Now, when I say that, I think we can all relate to it on some level, that we've all felt that way.
Yeah.
Right? So whether we are struggling to make basic needs happen, we're struggling in a relationship, we're struggling with our life goals or life purpose, there comes a moment we find ourselves battling this mindset as well.
Yeah.
Which we call the poverty mindset. You can call it whatever you like, the helplessness mindset or the stuck mindset, where you just feel like, I'm not able to co-create, or you want to identify with the belief that you're not able to co-create. So it's important to differentiate between those two, because there are people who have struggled to make basic needs met, but have eventually been successful at doing it just with their own sheer willpower as well, to take the next step to find those resources and make it happen. So this is where I think your mindset is everything. And this is where community outreach is everything. Because if we tell people that, hey, you don't have to feel helpless, you don't have to feel stuck, I'm there to help you, in some way or the other, that automatically shifts the person out of feeling, being, or thinking helpless into that action step that they need to take. The most important aspect of abundance, which is actually what my company name also is Mind Mantra, which is that you've got to make your mind the most important facet of your life, which comes with the idea that I am going to empower my mind no matter what.
So that's your mantra.
That is your mantra for life.
Mantra for life.
Absolutely. That I am going to empower my mind no matter what. No matter what shows up in my reality, no matter how people are, no matter what's going on. I am going to empower myself no matter what.
I love it.
And that is the most primordial step towards abundance, is to give yourself permission every day to empower yourself and nurture and nourish your own mind. Whether it is accepted by your environment, whether it is not accepted by your environment, whether people see it as important or not, you have to get into the habit of setting your own life goals, your own perspectives, and understanding what is nourishment for you. And that is also what it means to be an adult. Right? And so asking yourself, what does it mean for me to grow? I need to have a healthy mindset. This relates to abundance, but this is also just another facet of life. We need to have tools at hand that teach us how to develop a healthy mindset for life itself. That when life throws me problems, challenges, shocks, surprises, good moments, what am I going to do? How am I going to be? How am I going to show up for it? How am I showing up for myself? Am I reacting to life? Am I responding to life? This comes back to the idea that you need to have a healthy mindset for you to be able to co-create and grow every day. So what are you doing to nourish and nurture your mind? The most important step is to take a step back. And give yourself time to ask yourself, how am I doing? How am I feeling today? What's going on in my life? What am I liking? What am I disliking? What do I want to change? I want to feel better. Okay. What's not feeling good? Giving yourself permission to address your feelings. I want to think better. What limitations are you holding on to? that you want to change. Now, for this, you can learn techniques, you can meet other professionals who can help you on this journey, and then understand how it works and start utilizing those tools. But I think this is one of the most important things that we need to do as humans today, is to develop a healthy mindset. Because what's plaguing a lot of people today also is anxiety, is the fear of change, that change is happening too quickly. With technology coming in, with technological advancements coming in, I think people are trying to grapple with the new reality, which keeps changing and evolving so fast. And so having a mindset that works in your favor, and being able to nourish your mindset with your own tool set, your own toolbox of healing techniques or mind tools, is so important. So you're able to show up for yourself on a day-to-day basis.
Tools and techniques which you can share with our listeners today.
Absolutely. I think there are so many of them, but I think one of the most useful ones is where I find journaling to be very, very powerful. And I recommend different forms of journaling to my clients as well, depending on the needs that they have. But just getting into the habit of describing your thoughts and feelings to yourself. And the best way that happens is when we write it down. We're able to better understand our own thoughts and feelings, our own inner drives and motivations when we start writing it down. So if you don't know what to start with blah blah.
Blah blah.
And start with I don't know. And keep writing it till you have some thoughts that float through you. You have feelings that flow through you. And start getting into the habit of writing without judgment, whatever is coming through. That's the first step. To just connect and get into the habit of checking in with yourself, is to get into the habit of developing the mindfulness to be cognizant and aware of what are you thinking and feeling. Because there are a lot of people who don't know what they are thinking and feeling. We push a lot of feelings and thoughts under the rug, thinking, it's not important, or this is the way life is. But there comes a point where you can't handle it anymore, right? That's a call for your body and for your mind to be nurtured and nourished. And one of the best ways to do it is through journaling. So if you don't know how to start, blah, blah, and keep writing till you're able to see that you're actually describing your thoughts and feelings. And the idea is to set the intention that whatever I'm writing without judgment here, because it's really just about what I'm thinking and feeling. And a lot of that is how you've already thought and felt about life before, and how you're reacting to these events. So you're choosing now to respond to it by taking into cognizance where your energy is going, where your thoughts are going. So sometimes we don't even know that we're worried. We don't even know that we're stressed because we're so used to feeling it. So these are ways that we take a step back just to become aware of our body, our emotions, our mind, is to write it down. When you start writing it down, there are some questions, you can ask yourself. How am I feeling today? How am I feeling in my body? How am I thinking today? Are these thoughts positive? Are they negative? Write down the positive thoughts, write down the negative thoughts, and then address the thoughts that you want to let go of. So I can see myself worrying a lot about whatever it is. I want to let go of this worry. So you start by writing down what is the worry. And then you start writing, what about this is worrying me? So I'm worried about my children not doing well in their exams. Okay. What about this is worrying you? Because the event is happening outside of you. It's happening with your children. What about this is impacting you? Right? Because it's playing with your emotions and your thoughts at this time. It makes me feel like I'm not a good parent. Now you've taken it a step deeper, and you're seeing, how am I identifying with this event?
Interesting.
I'm feeling that worried because I believe that it's my responsibility to be a good parent and shape their future, and I'm worried I won't be able to do that. So the underlying worry is that I won't be able to nurture my kids well or raise them the way I should be. The pressure of playing the role of parenthood. right? And so you take that a step deeper and ask yourself, well, how does it make me feel to think this way? Stressed, burdened, worried, concerned, not good enough, underconfident, lonely, sad, whatever thoughts and feelings are coming. Okay. Are these thoughts and feelings serving me?
Yeah.
No. Okay. So let's take cognizance of that. Earlier, I thought worrying is serving me. Now it's not serving me. Okay. What do I want to do about it? So now you go back to being a co-creator. What do you want to do about it? I want to take it. I want to throw it away. I don't want to identify with this pressure anymore. I want to enjoy parenting. And I want to enjoy my time with my children. That is what is my priority. So I want to let go of this worry so I can actually understand and be with my children.
So you dig deep and then you understand what's worrying you, take that out and then replace it with what you want, how you want to feel.
Absolutely. So for a moment, pull yourself out of the emotion and ask yourself, if this negative emotion is not there, how does that leave me feeling? And you'll notice it'll leave you feeling even better.
Yeah.
Because earlier you thought worrying might be the answer to being a good parent.
Yeah, most of the parents think like that.
Now you're realizing that maybe worry is not the best way
to deal with it, right?
To actually address how I want to be a parent. Maybe spending more quality time with my child is actually a better way. Maybe being more playful with them, getting to know them better, asking them how they're doing, taking a more active interest in their personal life is actually maybe the action step I need to take.
Yeah.
And so suddenly you start feeling lighter just by reworking how you want to address the situation in your life.
So this whole process of journaling has actually boiled down to your subconscious beliefs.
Yes.
Right.
So it boils down to, it starts by what is it that I want to change in my life? So becoming aware of what needs to change. So the worry or the stress needs to change, because every time I'm addressing parenthood, it's coming with this pressure and burden really of what it means to be a parent. And that's weighing me down from actually actively engaging, with my child. And so now I know what I want to change. And so now you're taking a step deeper to understand, now that I know what needs to change, how am I responding to the events that are causing this pressure? Right? So what is causing the pressure? How am I responding to it? How am I identifying with it? How is it holding me back? How is it serving me? And what do I want to do differently? So this is a great way. This is what we call mind mapping. This is a great way to map your own mind.
Wow.
And understand what are my intrinsic motivations or motivators. Sometimes our motivators don't serve us. They look like they're serving us, but they don't serve us. So in this scenario, worrying might look like it's a great thing to do. Hence, we take it for granted that it's okay to worry. But is it really?
Is it serving?
Is it really serving you? And so if there's any part of you that feels it's not, perhaps that perspective needs to change. And so you can use this mind mapping technique to change your thoughts and habits. And these are one of the many ways you can learn to heal yourself. When you learn proper healing techniques, of course, you go even deeper into understanding ways that you can, heal emotions, heal grief, heal pain, heal trauma, emotional distress, and move forward. So you become more aware and better at being able to tackle all kinds of thoughts and feelings that you're addressing. But this is a great start. It's a great start to your day. It's a great thing to prioritize in your life, is to just take stock of your thoughts and feelings and how to truly nurture and nourish your mind. And that it is possible for you to do that in more productive ways. So unconsciously, we might take to alcohol, we might take to addictions, we might take to, unhealthy habits, as a cry for help to experience something better in our life. This is a more conscious and better way to structure your mind, so that you're taking cognizance of what it is that is not working and what you want to change. And this alone, a lot of the times, is enough for you to empower yourself to know what is the next step I need to take.
Yeah, it's very important to understand whether, that particular aspect of our life is serving us or it's not serving us.
Yeah.
And if it does serve us, then we need to keep that with us, correct?
Yes.
And if it doesn't serve us, we need to, how to address that side of it when we realize this doesn't serve us. What's the way to get rid out of our system, out of our subconscious beliefs that, this thing doesn't serve me, worrying doesn't serve me, stress doesn't serve me, and you get to the root cause after having done this mind mapping thing, and you realize the bottom thing that this thing doesn't serve me, so I have to let go. I don't have to keep that in my head. So how to let go that part of it?
So the interesting thing is, the moment you realize it doesn't serve you, a lot of it goes away.
Really?
Because the mind, there is a part of our mind which is called the problem solver self, which will hold on to the need to worry if it feels that there's a reason for it to exist. So the moment you have disassociated with the need for worry to exist, your mind is no longer wanting to hold on to it.
Okay.
And so it lets it go. So one of the best questions to ask yourself is the question, does it serve me to worry?
Yeah.
So this pattern that I'm exhibiting time and again, does it serve me?
True.
Does it serve me to talk rudely? Does it serve me to feel less of myself? Does it serve me to constantly engage in negative talk? Is it serving me in any way?
Yeah.
And if the answer is no, your mind will automatically want to start changing the way it's looking at the situation, right? And then another way to go about it is, to actually mentally give yourself permission to let it go. So if there's any part of you that's still holding on to it, imagine it going away, or imagine it burning, or imagine it, withering away in some form. And that's you telling your mind that I'm giving myself permission to let it go.
Oh, and that's beautiful.
Through the power of visualization.
That's where visualization comes in.
And so visualization is also a great way to let go. If you're still holding on to any emotional debris, you imagine it, you give it form, and then you let it go. So, for example, if I'm still holding on to worry, what does worry look like? What does it feel like? It looks like this dust particle, or it looks like this vacuum cleaner where I'm just sucking everything in. What do you want to do with it? I want to throw it away. I want to burn it.
Yeah.
Right? Another really good way is to describe it. Visualize it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because once you give it form, it's no longer something you're afraid of. It's not abstract anymore. So once you give it form, you know what it is.
Yeah.
And then you can let it go, because it's not something you're afraid of letting go anymore. And you give yourself permission to visualize letting go of it. And you come back to yourself and ask yourself, how am I feeling? So these are some very simple techniques I'm sharing, of course, that you can map your mind, you can map your feelings.
Thanks for sharing that for our listeners. I think that will give a very, deep thought. If they are struggling somewhere, journaling is the best way to, and dig deep down and, understand your own self, what's going inside, how you're feeling, and, letting go what's not serving you, and just take it what energizing you.
Absolutely.
Right?
And when you practice it enough times, it becomes second nature to think this way. And that is when you're stepping into being a conscious co-creator, where you could be walking through a mall, you could be meeting a friend, or you could be partaking in some activity where you're really stressed out, and in that moment you're able to ask these questions to be able to take a step back, breathe, and see the situation and yourself differently. So this is a great way to, and one of the many ways you can develop a daily habit of having a healthy mindset. and nourishing your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good addition to our daily journaling, our daily practice. I'll say,
Absolutely.
I think definitely we should add this to our calendar at least once in a week. So we sit down with our emotions, we sit down with our thoughts. If not daily, then at least once in a week, I think the listeners should, practice this technique.
Absolutely.
And I'm
And practice it with others.
with
Do it with your
others.
friends.
Okay.
Do it with the people you love. Do it with the people who are open to it. Because again, you're sharing an abundance tool where you can grow with other people too. And you can know that you can create far more deeper bonds when you're able to nourish and nurture each other's minds as well, because it fosters deeper intimacy, deeper trust, deeper transparency in relationships as well, which creates
True.
healthier foundations and bonds.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing that for our listeners.
most welcome.
Coming down to a question which everyone ponders: who am I? What am I doing here? Why does a person even come across such questions in their life?
I think when you realize that you're not surviving anymore, or that you are able to meet your needs, coming back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when you have come to that conclusion mentally and you've understood that, is when the next question arises. Because that's the next core need of yours that needs to be addressed. And that's
Okay.
the next code of abundance that needs to awaken within you as well. And all of that starts by asking yourself, who am I? Am I these material possessions? Am I this work that I'm doing? And then, of course, going deeper and asking yourself, who do I want to be?
Yeah.
And what energy do I want to be? And that becomes the journey that takes you towards your life purpose, or towards bringing meaning into your life. That'll motivate you to achieve goals in your life as well.
Once I'm very curious to know about what is dark night of the soul.
It's a good question because you hear it around a lot. And in a
Yeah.
lot of podcasts with a lot of actors and a lot of celebrities being asked this question, what does it mean when you go through this period of your life called the dark night of the soul, before you arrive at being successful or achieving your goals, manifesting abundance? So this is a very important question to ask, because that period that that you're growing to develop skills, to develop the right mindset to grow, can often feel long, can feel painful. For some people it can involve suffering, a lot of loneliness, even depression, and that long wait of understanding who you are in that process, who you're becoming, is what is called the dark night of the soul. So it's that moment of your life where you're truly introspecting to ask, who am I? And what do I want to become? And what is meaningful for me? And this is usually triggered by the deeper questioning that we ask, or us wanting to connect with our life purpose more, or it could also be a painful event happening in our life that causes us to ask, what is the meaning of life? Right? And it is in that process that you go through what is called the dark night of the soul, where you are connecting to yourself on a deeper level and asking, how do I want to grow more abundantly, more consciously, more joyfully? So this is where you're taking time, and you're taking stock of, what have I been creating so far? What do I want to do differently? Why am I suffering? And what do I want to change? So that moment of introspection for some people can last longer, and for some people it can last for a shorter duration of time. But it's basically that process where you are really coming into contact with your soul and with yourself, and wanting to ask, what is it that I want to do with my life? And you want to make changes, to it. In other words, aspects of your life that you were living unconsciously, now you want to live more consciously with. So, if you are unhappy in your marriage, or something did not work out because you did it to make your parents happy, or you did it for society, now you're asking yourself, well, where am I in this picture? Am I happy or no? And what do I want to do differently? So that is where you're going through the dark night of the soul, where you're coming into understanding that you are and can become a better co-creator than you think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in that process, you mean to say we are going to discover ourselves in depth and we will understand our soul purpose.
Absolutely. This is an invitation for you to get to know those parts of you that you like, but of course, those parts of you that need attention, that you're not allowing yourself to see. So, if you are not being respected and you consider that to be okay, there is a part of you during the dark night of the soul moment which will tug and say, well, I'm not happy. What should I do about this situation? So, it is an uncomfortable process. I'm not saying it's all hunky-dory. It is a difficult process to go through because you're meeting yourself on a deeper level, and that's never comfortable. But, just like how, we build skills, initially it's painful, or, we're wondering how to go about it, and then we get better at it. You can get better at meeting yourself as well. And so it's an invitation for you to get to know who you are, meet parts of yourself that you're not happy with, and take into cognizance what do you want to do differently. The other things I wanted to talk about was abundance and coming back to, getting into the flow of creating abundance. And one of the most important aspects of that is to understand that freedom, flow, and fulfillment come from mastering the ability to understand where your time is going. Right? And how wisely you're using it. So one of the activities I often tell my clients to do is to, and probably one of the hardest activities to do also, it's because you're taking stock of your time and you're actually seeing where it's going, is that I ask them to write down at the end of the day, what all they have achieved or what all they have done, starting from the time they woke up until now, and really be as minute in your detail as possible. So 9 a.m. I woke up, I was scrolling my phone. How long? Okay, 30 minutes. Snooze back, went back to sleep. Okay, woke up properly, took a shower, spoke to friends. How long? 1.5 hours. Okay, went to work. What did I do at work? How long did I work? 1.5 hours. What did I do after that? I went for a coffee break. How long? 2 hours. I'm just giving an example, but really chalk your time down. And when you have chalked it all down as much as you can, look at it and ask yourself, how are you feeling? Are you fulfilled with the way that, you're utilizing your time? Are you making the most of your time? Is it flowing in the way that you want it to? Is it giving you the freedom that you want? And then ask yourself, what do I want to do differently with my time? What do I want to change? And then start changing. The first step is to take stock of what needs change, changing your mindset towards it so that you're able to actually do it. So for example, I don't want to be I noticed I'm on my phone for 4 hours in a day, right? Half an hour in the morning, 1.5 hours in the afternoon, evening 2 hours. I want to change that. I want to fill that in with a more productive activity. Maybe I want to go for a walk. Maybe I want to do my emotional release session at that time, my mind mapping session. When you start doing that, you realize that time is very flexible and it's more so in your hands than you think. And you can fill it in consciously with the activities that you actually want. And that is how you start flowing more into the abundance, into the mindset, and into the way that you want to experience fulfillment in your life. So this is another activity I'm sharing with the audience that they can do. And it's not easy because you're taking stock, but I'm here to tell you that you'll really enjoy it once you do, because you'll realize how much time you have in your hands to maneuver and do what you truly want.
And aligning yourself with 3 F's, which is like freedom, flow and fulfillment. And
that's how you start creating the abundance mindset. You start feeling aligned to it in your own life. You start feeling more confident and you start showing up for yourself more.
It's all about taking these little tiny baby steps towards a greater fulfilling life.
Absolutely.
Journaling, mind mapping, and then, doing the energy audit, doing your own audit of how your day was. We can call it like a daily audit.
Absolutely. Because abundance asks you to be a co-creator, and a co-creator you become when you consciously choose to make changes in your life that give you the happiness and fulfillment you're looking for. So if you make it a point to show up for yourself. As much as you can, you will feel confident that abundance can come to you because you're actually doing the work. Discipline is a word that's thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
And not everyone likes that word.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it comes with too much structure, too much change, too much rigidity at times.
Yeah.
We have a lot of feelings associated with it. But this is an invitation to think differently about it. I think, what if you saw self-discipline as fulfillment, freedom, and flow?
Wow.
That it is something you actually enjoy and that you want to do. And let me tell you, you can change your mindset to enjoy doing things that earlier you thought you might not enjoy doing at all. And that happens by doing these activities and taking the steps required. That self-discipline is really you giving the freedom to think for yourself what you actually want to do and how you actually want to go about it. And it doesn't have to be painful. It doesn't have to be time stringent. It doesn't have to feel difficult.
It has to be flowing freely out of you. You should be passionate, and you should feel like, yes, I want to go to gym.
Just by showing up for it. So if you just show up to the gym, that'll get you started into the process of working out or doing what needs to be done. It just starts by showing up. So rather than usually what discipline makes us feel is that our mind takes us through the whole thought process of okay, discipline means I have to imagine myself getting ready, then going to the gym, then giving myself more pain by working out, then coming back and doing this again and not being able to meet my friends because I have to do it again. So what is your mind doing? It's thinking of all the things that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're losing freedom, you're losing flow, you're losing fulfillment. So suddenly you're like, I don't want to fulfill this goal anymore. But what if you see it as an invitation that I just have to show up because this is something that gives me joy, right? And so working out, why am I working out? I'm working out because I want to be fit and healthy. So that brings me fulfillment. I'm showing up for it. That gives me freedom. Right. So instead of saying I have to do these things, I'm just going to show up and I'm going to see what I can do. Today, if I'm feeling really tired, I'm going to do the best that I can with that in mind. If I have a bad stomach, I'm going to do the best that I can with that in mind. So I'm not pushing myself beyond the capacity that is required. I'm doing what needs to be done. And so suddenly now discipline takes a different form. It starts because it's working with the principles of abundance. And so now you're enjoying it more because you're like, I enjoy this. I know why I want to do it. It has nothing to do with what people expect of me. This is a goal that matters to me. Hence, I want to do it. 2, all I have to do is show up. I'm not taking away from the fact that I haven't slept or that I want to meet my friends. I just have to show up and I'm going to do as much as I can. And that is the first step. And once you get into the habit of showing up, you'll start doing more of it because you want to. And so you will lose the weight. Whenever you want to manifest something, first manifest to feel free, to go with the flow, and to be fulfilled by what you want to do. And then you'll do it. And you'll show up for it every day. This will also help them come out of procrastination. And come into the flow of just enjoying things and seeing everything as an invitation to play with, to have fun with, and to enjoy. And that brings me to talk about abundance from the space of having fun. That while the world makes us worry, or while people instill in us the idea that, worry will make you more productive, this is one core belief that you can change. Actually, fun makes you want to do more things. Doing things joyfully, doing things playfully makes us want to do it more. True. So if you are teaching your children the idea of developing discipline, teach them how to prioritize fun as well. Teach them how to prioritize to be joyful too, to enjoy the process, to enjoy the journey. Rather than rewarding them with the goal of meeting that particular goal that they had in mind, reward them for the journey and how far they've come and what they've learned, because that puts you into the process of wanting to learn more. So it's all about how we're nurturing our mind. That's what eventually brings us to do things, or it doesn't. And fun and joy is a very important part of feeling motivated to keep doing it.
That's where we miss out most of the time, not considering that aspect of fun in our lives. But yeah, you touching that fun element and telling our listeners that's how important it is to have fun along with the conscious choices we make. I think that's brilliant, the way you have personified and the way you have made it simplified, and thank you for sharing that with our listeners. One piece of advice you have for our listeners?
I just want everyone to know that we're talking about abundance because you are enough. You are more than enough. You deserve the love. You must know that there is a spirit residing within you that is enough, that is resourceful, that is creative, and that is whole, and that is who you truly are. So when you are creating abundance, you are creating from the space of being creative, resourceful, whole, and more than enough.
What's your life mantra?
My life mantra is to create moments to celebrate with others that bring joy, peace, and harmony.
Choose one, happiness or peace?
Happiness brings peace, because happiness comes when you accept change for what it is. The moment you accept it mentally, happiness is the next step, and therefore peace. So happiness.
One superpower you want to have?
I think one superpower I always wanted to have is actually just to be able to change people's thoughts and minds instantly. Because when you have the gift of reading people, you can feel their pain and suffering. And so you want to change it. So if I had a superpower, I would just want to be able to change it instantly. But unfortunately or fortunately, free will exists. So you have to respect the other person and their life journey. But an intrinsic part of me would just love to have the ability to just change that instantly.
Thanks, Vansa, for coming to Stories That Matter today and sharing, the beautiful advice around abundance and how important it is to live with these three principles of freedom, flow, and fulfillment in every aspects of our life. That's really important for anyone who is stuck in their life right now, to analyze where do they stand, irrespective of what season of life they are in. Just analyze these three elements and try to take the corrective actions and make their life beautiful.
Absolutely. Just get into the flow. Give yourself permission to be free and ask yourself what brings fulfillment. And you're there.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming to our show.
Thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure being with you.
And it was so nice to have these soul enriching kind of conversations with you today, which I'm sure definitely it's going to impact people on a larger scale. Thanks for sharing from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you for having me. I think this is such a fantastic platform, and you've taken such a great initiative to give people the opportunity to know that they're not alone in their journey, and that we're all learning, growing, figuring life out, and we're all here to share the best practices that we know and that we have. And everybody has something to share, and I'm so grateful you gave me this opportunity to do that.
Thank you, listeners. I'll soon be back with interesting episodes on stories that matter for you. Thank you so much. Much love.